Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, with another edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And what is that done? That done is the creation of a brand new book by January 21st, 2021. Because on that date, I intend on uploading press-ready PDF files to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, where I will self-publish a brand new book. Said book that's been in my head for about 15 years is going to finally be published. And what is that book? I'm glad you asked. It actually looks something like this. It's called NONFICTION BRAND, Discovering, Crafting, and Communicating the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. And that's what this whole thing's about. It's about me coming down here after working during the day, having dinner, spending time with my friends or with my family, and then coming down here to actually move my book forward in one form or another for a total of 301 consecutive daily live streams. That's pretty crazy, right? Well, the streak is alive, and tonight, if I'm not mistaken, is episode 121, meaning that I've done this for 121 days since March 5th of 2020, coming down here every night, moving the book forward in one way or another. And frankly, some nights I'm not doing a whole heck of a lot. Some nights I'm a little bit tired. Some nights I'm a little bit brain dead. Some nights I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But I come down here to do something so that I can keep developing this book. Because one of the things about writing a book is it's a pretty mammoth task. Well, just like any mammoth, the only way you're going to eat that mammoth is one bite at a time, and that's what I do every night. So, what am I doing tonight? Well, I think I'm going to do a little cleanup. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at Scrivener, the program I'm using to actually write this or create this this book. And hold on, I'm just opening up Restream chat because if you so desired to have any questions answered or just want to say hi or anything like that, if you're watching live, you can type your comment or question in the comment box, hit enter, and if I have everything configured correctly, I should be able to see the question, answer it, respond appropriately, etc., etc. So if you're watching and just want to say hi, that's cool too. So anyway, what am I doing? I said I was doing cleanup. What kind of cleanup am I doing? Well, as you can see over here in my list of sections or chapters, I've got a number of green flags, blue flags, red flags, and even a yellow flag or two down in here. What does that mean? Well, the green flags mean, hey, this section is done, and it's been first pass edited, so don't worry about it for the time being. Blue means you've written something, and I think the whole section's done, but it has not had that first pass of editing done yet, so it's not quite 100% done yet. The yellow flags mean, hey, dude, you've written some stuff within this section, but there's more that needs to be written. And then there's the dreaded red flag stuff, which is, hey, you know you're going to want to write something about this topic, but you haven't written anything yet. Well, that's a little scary. And I was looking through the red flags, kind of going, oh, I haven't written anything. I haven't written anything. I haven't written it. And then I got to this section and went, oh, wait a minute. I wrote quite a bit, 720 words in this section. I need to at least award it a yellow flag of, hey, you've at least started it. And so that was a signal to me that I've not been doing a great job with book hygiene. And so tonight, whether you like it or not, tonight is going to be about book hygiene or writing hygiene. The fact is that we all want to just write pithy, beautiful ideas and get them on paper or into the computer. But some of that stuff requires a little bit of toothbrushing and shoe tying. That's what I mean by book or writing hygiene. Tonight, I'm going to tie some shoes. I'm going to brush some teeth. And I'm going to start with this section called Scalpel versus Swiss Army Knife. And first thing I'm going to do is look at the styling of the type of each of the headers. Like this is what I would call a headline or a chapter title. And I need to make sure that that is, actually, let me show you this. So I'm looking at Scalpel versus Swiss Army Knife right here. And if you look right at the top, you can see that it's Avenir Next, demi-bold, 16-point type that has been bolded. And that is the thing that I want to do for every section or chapter title. However, I like to break up my copy with subheads. Like here's one, and you'll see that it changes from Avenir Next to Palatino, regular, 13-point. But I actually want to hit that bold just to give it a little bit more flavor when you're reading through this. So same thing down here. And this is a decision I made recently to, you know what, 13-point. My base type is 11-point. My subhead type is 13-point. But I wanted to give it a little bit more something, something. So I'm hitting it with bold just to make it stand out a little bit more. And so I'm going down here and making sure that all my subheads are correct. So everything looks right. But I also want to make sure that each of these, whoop, see, I don't want it to do that. I want it to be my paragraph styling. And so what I'm doing is I'm hitting the key command to style it as paragraph copy. You can see up here, paragraph copy. So I just want to check that, see it, right now it says no style. If I do the key command that I've set up for paragraph copy, which is Option Command 2, it changes it to paragraph copy. Now, why do I want to do that? Well, because if I ever change my mind, like right now, the paragraph copy is Palatino set at 11-point type. But sometime in the future, I might reassess this based on, like, let's say I get the book printed, just a sample copy or a dummy copy printed just to see how everything looks. If at that time I say, oh, 11-point seems a little small and I want to bump it to 12-point, if I didn't have it set up as paragraph copy in Scrivener, I would have to go through and change physically every paragraph's copy up 1 point. Instead, if everything is styled as paragraph copy, then I can just change the style from 11-point to 12-point, and everything that is labeled paragraph copy in the book will automatically change. So it's a time saver if you may find yourself messing with your design over time. So looking at this section, Scalpel versus Swiss Army Knife, okay. I haven't written in this section for a long time, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a first pass, kind of read through, edit, and add to this if I think it needs it. So this concept of Scalpel versus Swiss Army Knife, I explain in this section. Let's see how well I do explaining it. One of my favorite online thought leaders is a guy named Pat Flynn, the founder of an entire digital marketing empire based around the central concept that it's always a good thing. It's always a good. Yeah, see, I don't need the It's always good to create passive income streams to augment any active ones you've got going. His Smart Passive Income podcast is one of my personal top 10 must not follows listens. This is why you read it after you forgot you wrote it, because I've forgotten that I've written this, and now I can have totally fresh eyes and fresh ears. And this is my killer pro tip. If you're editing your copy, read it aloud, because if you do and you stumble, you'll see exactly what your readers are going to do. They're going to stumble over, like I just did. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. So I go back and I read through it and I smooth it out. I literally get rid of the stumble blocks within my copy, within my writing. What I find to be incredibly interesting about Mr. Flynn is just how completely authentic he appears to be on the mic, on camera, and in real life. He's a one-man, living, breathing illustration of every point I'm trying to make in this book, and has been a very real inspiration to me ever since I heard him say this wonderfully rhyming and absolutely true phrase, "There's riches in the niches." I don't know if he's the guy who coined it, but since I heard it first from him, he gets all the credit in my book, quite literally, in my book. Right up there with Yoda's, "There is no try, there is only do." This phrase is redolent with so many layers of meaning that I've been thinking about it ever since I heard him say it during one of his podcast episodes. Since then, I've heard many others riff off the core idea of riches, niches, in other phrases, niching down or hyper-specializing. But the seed concept remains the same. It's better to be a big fish expert in your own small pond than an all things to all people generalist. I always seek to connect let's see, generalist. I always seek to connect esoteric ideas to concrete images, analogies, and metaphors. And for this one, it's the difference between being a scalpel or a Swiss Army knife. I gotta give something at the beginning of that sentence. When confronted with a completely new to me idea, comma, let's give that idea, comma. When confronted with a completely new to me idea, I always seek to connect esoteric concepts, let's say novel concept to concrete images, analogies, or metaphors. All right, let's make that an and/or, because half the time I do both. And for this one, it's the difference between being a scalpel or a Swiss Army knife. Scalpel equals purpose-built to excel at a single specialized task. Let's see. Job. A single critical job. Critical job. Swiss Army knife, a mediocre at everything tool of some utility but no excellence. There is a natural desire in most human beings to be liked, accepted, and ideally preferred by the largest number of people possible. Let's call it the popularity trap. In order to be popular, specificity and precision go right out the window in favor of lowest common denominator, offenseless blather. To stand for anything at any time is a guaranteed way of shedding acquaintances. To stand for nothing with a bland smile on your face is to be liked by all. And yes, I am carrying a grudge. But this is really about being specific in who you are, what you do, and how you do it, with an emphasis on becoming known as an expert in as narrow a niche as possible. This book is filled with real-world, real human examples of people who've done just that and succeeded to dominate their chosen subfields. It's time you learned from their example and searched yourself and your personal and professional backgrounds for the niche that is perfectly suited for you to not only occupy, but own. Take me as an example. At my core, I'm a writer. But what kind of writer? Fiction or nonfiction? Long form or short form? Theoretical or practical? Formal or casual? I don't need a comma there. Formal or casual? For what kind of audience? Any specific genre? The questions can go on and on. Were I to be a generalist writing authority, I'd not only be one of many, but I would not be tapping into the full potential of my professional background and center of proven excellence. Fact is, I've never won an Oscar for screenwriting or a Pulitzer for journalism, but I have won a passel of Addies for advertising and marketing writing. Maybe I should play that to my strength? Maybe. Let's go think. I should play to my strength. And to put an even finer point on it, why not really specialize in a subdiscipline of that, branding? That's what being a scalpel is all about. A master of one rather than the proverbial jack of all trades, master of none. So what is your niche? Can you sharpen it even further by looking deeper into your expertise to find the subdiscipline that you have truly mastered? You need to, because that's where your fullest value to others, I gotta say, fullest value to others resides, not lies, resides. The value others the value for which others will seek you out and recognize in you once you start owning and demonstrating it. Publicly. 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 Publicly, regularly, and consistently out loud, demonstrating the value for which others will seek you out and recognize in you once you start owning and demonstrating it regularly. Regularly and consistently out loud. There's only one you, and no one has your unique combination of voice, experience, and expertise. Own what is yours to own and share it freely to those who need it. That's how you that's the only real way you can begin to build the personal brand called you. All right. I like to hit some of these final paragraphs in a section with bold, kind of to dummy proof it. Yeah, so I'm cool with that. So 757 words. I'm figuring 300 words a page. So that's going to be 2.5 pages maybe. Yeah, so that's cool. That's cool. I think for now, this earns it a blue flag. Hallelujah. So change it to a blue flag. And the blue flag, again, a blue flag just means it's a signal to me that I think this section is done, David. Don't worry about it for a while. Come back to it later to do a real, I forgot I wrote it proof. And, you know, that's a key thing. Never proof anything before you forgot you wrote it. Because if you can have that beginner's mind, you're going to find so much more wrong with it, or so many more things to change and make revisions on. So that's good. And I'm feeling okay about that for tonight. So I think I'm going to end tonight's live stream. Because again, I don't need to be here for hours late into the night, because I still have just under 200 days left to go on this project. And I've already got about 110 pages done of a 250-page book. Filling this book out is not going to be a problem. Getting it written is going to be a little bit painful, but that's why I'm doing a little bit every night. Because, as I said earlier, if you've got a mammoth, the only way you're going to eat it is one bite at a time. Well, I've got a mammoth task, so I'm going to eat that mammoth one bite at a time via these live streams. So thanks for joining me tonight for tonight's edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. Yeah, that's pretty cray-cray. But it's happening, and it's actually getting done. Not just because I made the commitment to myself, but I made the commitment to you. And let that be another tip as well. Making yourself a promise to get something done, for a lot of people, me included, is nowhere near as motivating as making a promise to other people. So my making a promise to you made me come down here and get this done to move this book forward so that I will make that publication date without fail. Guaranteed. Thanks so much for watching. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which a new episode just came out today featuring Leah Bach from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, who is a realtor who is really fun. And the episode turned out really well as well. So check that out wherever you get your podcasts for free. Places like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast. Where if you're using just do a search for Nonfiction Brand, and you'll see my face in black and white photography, and you'll know you're at the right place. Again, that's called Nonfiction Brand with DP Knudten. I hope you check it out. And if you do, please like, subscribe, refer it to others, but most of all, review it wherever you get the podcast, because it will help other people find it. I want to thank you again for watching tonight. And that's it for me. So, theme music, take us on out. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.